Hey there guys, Alex here, and back for another video. I wanted to do a response to Memphis Vinyl Jim and the Misses, their contest that they had up. I think this is the June contest, and it's kind of regrettable actually. I think I've missed quite a few of your threads. You know, I've had some pretty long spells off YouTube this year, and you know, just haven't had a chance to do many thread responses. And yeah, I think I've missed a few contests from you and a few threads, and you know, that's obviously something I don't want to do. I wanted to get this one done, and big fan of your videos, I really am. You know, you've certainly added a lot to the community, and it's been great to see also that you've been, you know, traveling around the country, visiting other VC members. You know, that's some of my favorite videos have been, you know, when you visited, like, I think you visited Brandon, and I think you're visiting Derek soon as well. Can't wait to see that. But yeah, just a massive fan of your videos and your taste. It's just always great to see new updates from you. And yeah, this is a great thread. This is basically wanted us to show perfect 10 records or albums that we have. And you know, I still have a pretty small collection. I have probably 150 records, somewhere in that region, so I don't have too many records that I would consider perfect 10s. You know, I certainly have albums that I've listened to that I would consider to be perfect 10s. But I do have a few, and I just picked out 3 here that I wanted to show quickly for this contest. And yeah, going to go ahead and do that in just a minute or so. Oh yeah, I wanted to also thank, well, thank you all really for 400 subscribers. Noticed, well, it's probably been around a week now. I've had over 400 subscribers on my channel, and it just touches my heart. It really does. I mean, just to see that, you know, over 400 people have, you know, taken the time to push that subscribe button, and you know, maybe watch the videos. It's just mind-blowing to me. It really is. I mean, I didn't expect anything like that kind of number of people to actually care about, you know, what I had to say and what I had to show in these videos. So it really is. I'm hugely thankful to everybody who's subscribed and everyone who watches. It really does. It means a lot to me. So thank you so much. And I did mention that I would maybe have a contest at 400. And I'm still thinking about it. I think I might wait till 450 or maybe 500 before I have the contest, simply for financial reasons. I mean, I just don't have that much money at the moment, and I do want to, you know, make it a worthwhile contest. I want to get a good prize together, so, you know, I'll probably wait till 450 or 500. I also need an idea, like a thread or something to do. So yeah, but just thank you so much for the 400, and yeah, it's been so great being part of this community for so long now, and hope I can continue, you know, well into this year. So yeah, playing in the background is this record. This is John Martin, and this is the album One World. I don't think I really gave this album you know, the time of day when I picked it up. It was part of a record haul that I managed to win on eBay last year, and it was one of those records that I just played once, didn't really pay much attention to it when I listened to it, and then just put it on the shelf and forgot about it. And I think that was kind of wrong of me, you know, to do that, because this is a really decent record, and really the catalyst for me pulling this back out and listening to it was Tony's video yesterday. He showed this, Mr. Fartboy, in his recent vinyl editions, and I think he also mentioned that it was part of Big Star 1000's Obscure Classics series, and obviously that made me want to hear it again, pay more attention to the music, and this is my second listen to it through since yesterday. I have to say it's a really you know, decent record. Kind of folk jazz kind of thing. I actually heard that a lot of this album was recorded outside, which was kind of interesting. They actually, you know, did a lot of the recording for this out in the open air, which was pretty interesting to find out. and it does have that kind of outdoorsy, free-flowing kind of feel to it. So yeah, I would definitely recommend listening to this if you haven't already. It's a decent record for sure. So yeah, getting into these perfect tens then. I'm not sure I consider these albums perfect. You know, perfect is a strong word to use for anything. I don't think there's any record that I've heard that I would consider 100% perfect. I mean, there's albums that have got very close to that. But, you know, there's always, you know, something more that can be done. There's always, you know, that it can always get better, I guess. And but I'd certainly consider these records to be 10 out of 10 records, and yeah, just wanted to show them quickly. Pretty obvious choices, I guess, certainly this first one. But yeah, this is an album which I've talked about and ranted and raved about for pretty much my whole time of being in this community, and you know, it's no surprises to any of you what I'm going to show here, but of course it's the absolutely epic Blonde on Blonde by Bob Dylan. And yeah, I can't really say much more about this record. I've probably you know, probably bored you with how much I've actually talked about this, you know, in my videos, so I'm not going to go into too much depth. But yeah, this is a real perfect, well, perfect-ish record for me. It's certainly a 10 out of 10. Dylan's finest work, Dylan's masterpiece, most definitely. I think he reached a peak at this time in 1966, which he never quite reached again. I mean, he almost did with albums like, you know, Blood on the Tracks and Desire, but I don't think he ever reached the kind of genius, the level of genius which he reached on here. The songwriting is out of this world. It really is. You know, I still listen to this today after hearing it probably 50 times. Probably more than that, actually, closer to 100 times. And I just, you know, the songs still blow me away. It's still like I'm hearing it for the first time, and I think that really is the mark of a truly great album. And I can see myself, I really can't see myself ever getting bored of this record. You know, well into the future. I think this is going to be a record that's going to help me through, you know, some different, you know, some maybe difficult times in my life. This is certainly a record I can see myself turning to. And it's just incredible. It really is. And it's over 70 minutes in length, which is another thing I love about it. It's an album which, you know, it's you can listen to it from start to finish, and it can really take you, you know, into a different world. And that's what I love about this music. So yeah, Bob Dylan, certainly a perfect 10 on Blonde on Blonde, which is the first one. Second of all, this is an album which it took me a while for me to consider this a perfect 10, I guess, but I certainly would. I would consider it that now. Again, a record which I've heard so many times and never gets old. This is Paul Simon's Graceland from 1986. Let me see. 1980. Maybe 1980. No, it is. Yeah, 1986. And again, I've talked about this record before and how much I love it, but yeah, just the liberating feel you get when you listen to this. I mean, it draws on so many influences. It's unlike anything I've heard from, say, Simon and Garfunkel. It's just completely different. It's I believe most of it was recorded in Nigeria or South Africa. It might have been South Africa, actually. But just the dimension that, you know, the South African influence gives to this just makes it a mind-blowing record. It really does. And obviously many people consider this to be Paul Simon's greatest work, and I would certainly agree. I think this tops anything he did with Garfunkel, Art Garfunkel. I really do. I think, you know, as good as those records are, I think, you know, he really did reach a peak with this record. And yeah, just a timeless record. It doesn't sound particularly 80s. You know, I listen to some records and they sound dated, from the 80s and 90s and 2000s. but I don't think this one does. I think it sounds, you know, completely original, and like it could have been recorded in the 60s, could have been recorded in the 70s, 80s, it could have been recorded today and it still would have been considered a masterpiece. So yeah, this is certainly a perfect 10 for me, and really did turn me on to Paul Simon. After hearing this, I you know, wanted to dig deeper into his back catalogue, and yeah, a record everyone needs to hear, that one, I certainly would say. And finally, I'm not going to talk about this one too much either, because this is an album I showed just a few days ago. And again, a perfect 10 for me. This is Death Grips, The Money Store. Yeah, game-changing hip-hop album released last month, and I can't see anything surpassing this in terms of albums this year. I think this is going to be number one, or certainly in the top, you know, 3 or 4 records of the year. Yeah, just a game-changing record. It really did change my perspective on hip-hop. It changed my you know, my expectations on where hip-hop can go in the future, and I think I'm still going to be listening to this, you know, years and years down the line. It really is just an amazing record. Not going to be for everyone. I know a lot of people aren't going to see this as a perfect 10 record. It's certainly not to everyone's taste, and even me, like a year ago, I probably wouldn't have even, you know, given this record the time of day. I would have just probably hated it, to be honest. But now that I've you know, heard some more hip hop and some more experimental stuff, I really can appreciate this music for what it is, and yeah, just can't say enough about how good this record is. And if you haven't heard it, then I'd certainly give it a try. You know, listen to a couple of songs and see what you think. But I would yeah, certainly label this one under perfect 10. So that's the 3 I had to show. There's probably more, a few more in my collection that I would consider perfect 10 albums, but those were the 3 that kind of sprung to mind. Other ones would be kind of like Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon would probably be a perfect 10. Exile on Main Street by the Rolling Stones. Maybe Highway 61 by Dylan as well. And then a few others. But those were the 3 that I really wanted to show, and as I expected, I'm already at 12 minutes here, almost 13 minutes, so I'm gonna wrap it up. But yeah, that's my my response. I hope that's adequate, and I hope that gets me entered into the contest. And as I say, I'll be back, you know, maybe at 450 subscribers with a contest of my own. Looking forward to that. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.